from you and moves on quickly to another woman, the only thing that woman got on you is that she don't know how he be lying. Sometimes that's the only thing. Sometimes the only thing that that woman can do better than you is put up with his BS, tolerate his BS. Now, I'm saying this in response to a woman who commented on yesterday's live chat where I talked about this is what happens to a woman whenever she takes your man from you. And the woman was like, it left me with questions. I had this happen. It left me with questions about what was not good enough about me. What did that woman have that I didn't have? Now, this don't go for every single man, but for those of y'all in particular that are dealing with a guy or dealt with a guy who was manipulative, that was toxic, or that showed narcissistic traits, of course you can't diagnose him as a narc, but if he showed a lot of narcissistic traits, I want y'all to know something. When a narc is done with you, the woman that he was in a long-term relationship with, that you eventually got tired of his BS and you told him enough is enough, there is a certain type of woman he's going to go after. Now, if you continue to enable and you continue to put up with his BS, he may get another woman, but he's not going to find anything different because you worked out for him. But for those of y'all that are in this process of healing and remembering your crown, you're reading books, you're getting around family and friends that keep you uplifted, you're remembering who you are, you're listening to my videos or somebody else in this space that empowers you, that inspires you, whoever it may be. And then as that's happening, you start showing resistance to that narcissist that you're in a relationship with. You're making life hard for that person. You're making life hard for that suspected narcissist. You're making things difficult. You're causing friction. You're causing issues. You're frustrating them. You're stressing them out. So whenever they're done with you, they're going to look for a type of woman. Like, don't think that, oh, she got something better than me. She's so much easier to deal with. She's so much more agreeable. She's more pretty or she's younger. No, there's a reason why that narcissist is going to choose that next woman over you, whether they cheated in the process or immediately moved on. And it's because their toxicity or something about that woman is compatible with his toxicity. Like, say, for instance, one type of woman a narc is going to move on to after dealing with you, if you were the one to say, I'm done, you can't treat me like this no more, is a sympathizer, aka a savior. The type that, this is also, by the way, a lot of you as empaths, you run a high risk of being this type of person. That's why I always caution empaths. You have to be very careful about your emotions and how much you listen to, all of the woe is me stories that the narcissist or the suspected narcissist may have for you, because they'll try to leverage your emotion and how empathetic you are to get you to play a part of the savior in their story. If you were the type of person in a relationship, ladies, and you were with this narc and you got tired of hearing all of these different ways that the narc tried to guilt trip you, they'll move on to somebody who's going to go for that nonsense. The savior type, the sympathizer. Another type that the narc is going to try to choose after a relationship with you is the naive type. That's one type of woman that the narc is going to look for after dealing with a woman that got hit to his games. Or he's going to look for somebody who don't know how he be lying, who don't know how he be manipulating, who's not hip to the game, who doesn't read, who doesn't do a lot of self-loving, self-work, self-examination to understand whenever she's not fit, like something ain't right. So her intuition is telling her something ain't right. This is why I believe there's beauty in what you go through that's painful, because it hips you, it gives you more wisdom. Even though it hurts, it makes you better, not only for your future relationship, but also for yourself and protecting yourself. So these are the type of guys you'll see. They want to get a woman either from a third world foreign country, or they have a preference for women who are drastically younger. And I'm not talking about like, okay, anytime a guy goes for a woman that's younger, he's a narc. I'm not saying that. Or am I saying that, by chance, if he happened to connect with a woman that's a bit younger, he's a narc? No, I'm not saying that. But these men that be 45, 50, 55 years old and preferring women who just turned legal, oh, she got to be about 18, 19, 20, 22, 23 because she's better at childbearing. No, she's better for your manipulation. Let's keep it all the way real. But that's a woman that a narc will move on to after dealing with you and you got hip to his games. He'll call you bitter, resentful, call you all of these different names. Basically, you were no longer naive enough to tolerate his toxicity. So that's why he moved on. Another type of woman a narc will leave you for or choose over you is the type that's an enabler from a place of desperation. These, unfortunately, tend to be the type of women who also coddle their sons while they raise their daughters. The little boy can do no wrong. Anything that a little boy do, it's all coming from a place of desperation. Typically, these are the women that, something didn't work out with the child's father. So now they desperately want this child to accept them and love them, especially that the masculine energy that's left in the home. So they end up coddling their sons. They end up having like a surrogate boyfriend in their sons. Now, this, like, again, these same types of women enable a man. There's nothing that he can do wrong. Anything that he does do, it's all good because he's a man. It's basically, please, please, please be with me at any cost, even at the cost of her own self, her own dignity. Okay? Another type of woman, let's go through it because I want y'all to know, whenever you stop dealing with a narcissist and you were the one to cut things off, you the one that began seeing his true colors for what they were. Oh yeah, they will choose somebody else over you, but don't automatically jump to that person being better. That person may be more broken. Whenever you were broken, you didn't want to speak up for yourself. When you were broken, you were afraid to speak up what kind of boundaries that you had, your feelings or what have you. So they'll go and find somebody else who is broken, similar to the desperate person, but they'll find somebody else who's broken, who's not choosing from a place of intention. This is why I say, you never want to date while you're broken because you'll lose the leverage to get what you deserve. So a narcissist will go and look for a woman who is broken and out here just looking for somebody to fill a void. Any man will do. Just basically save me from this hurt, from what I've been through. Validate me, remind me or show me that I'm worthy of being chosen. Even if what I'm being chosen by ain't nothing worth being chosen by. That's the broken type. And then lastly, a narc will leave you. And I think everybody knows this type of woman. A narc will leave you for a woman that is ridden with jealousy over you. Again, we all like, oh, every woman is a queen. No, every woman is not a queen. Some of these women be hating on y'all. Those of you who you work your tail off, y'all don't even be thinking that much of yourself. You humble for real, but there's somebody who hates your guts. They want what you got. It ain't even about the man, but they'll get with a man that you already had. Even if he treated you like trash and he was trash and you done with him, they'll get with that man just to feel like they're a little bit closer to you. Put I down in the chat if I'm talking to somebody who know what I'm talking about. They'll get with a man just so they can feel like they're more on your level. These are the type of women who know that you got a man, know that you with your man, and they'll come up and they'll rub his shoulder. They'll kiki at all his little jokes. They'll say little things in the comment section or whatever. Like they know that when y'all are together, they know that. But secretly they've been plotting. And again, it ain't even about the man. The man in this situation be thinking he killing. Oh, he gonna make you jealous by dealing with somebody who you knew or something like that. No, all he got was one of your haters. All he got was somebody who felt like they were so inferior to you that they'll go after your sloppy seconds just to feel like they got something that might still be important to you or they used to be important to you. So a narc will go after somebody that they know were jealous of you. And the funny thing is, as y'all are dating, you can tell when a narcissist is trying to see which category, if any category, that you fit in. This is why I always talk about checking the temperature. As a side note, we're going to talk about this real quick. Be very careful when the narc tries to check your temperature. Of course, dating is for gathering data. We all want to gauge and know how somebody is going to be over the long term or something like that. The difference is a narc will try very underhanded techniques, things that offend you. Like say, for instance, they'll say something offensive in the very beginning to check your temperature to see if you're willing to speak up for your respect. If you're willing to speak up and check them and not necessarily put them in their place, but let them know that you don't tolerate a certain thing that they may say an inappropriate thing about your body. They may just, again, something slightly disrespectful, just to see if in the future they can count on you to not remind them of your boundaries. Or if you have the confidence to walk away if they're not going to respect your boundaries. That's one way a narcissist would check your temperature to try and see which category, if any category, that you fit in. Or they'll give you some type of inconsistency. They'll all of a sudden, hey, let's go on this date. And then 10 minutes after y'all was supposed to be already on the date, or 10 minutes beforehand, they cancel. Some type of inconsistency. Don't call you or text you consistently, go 2 or 3 days without talking to you. Again, to see if you're thirsty enough to come chasing after them, or if you have enough confidence to check them about what they're doing. Okay. Another thing that a narc will do to try to check your temperature to see if you fit into the proper category to be compatible with their toxicity is they'll treat you like you're in a relationship while avoiding the relationship title. Yeah. They'll call you baby. They'll call you boo. They'll offer to take you on trips. Oh, I just got it like that. This is the norm for me. No, they'll try to act like a relationship all day just to see if you're going to have the confidence to stop all of that love bombing, to say, no, first things first. If we're in a relationship, then that's what I need to know. If we're not in a relationship, then we need to stop doing these relationship things because you're not getting relationship access to me. They're trying to see if you're willing to assertively speak up for yourself. And the last thing I'm going to say is very similar. It's pretty much, based on the categories of women that they're looking to move on to. A narcissist will check your temperature by giving you all of these hard knock life stories, all of these Lifetime movie, Tyler Perry plot twist stories that they don't went through. Oh, everybody done betrayed them. The daddy been gone. The mama was on drugs. The little sister, she got 3 toes. The goldfish died. Everything wrong in their life. And they'll be checking your temperature to see, is there any bit of this woman that's going to jump to save me? Is she willing to be self-sacrificial in order to not compile even more heartache on me? Because she now knows I've been through too much, more than any other human should have to go through. Is she really going to say no to me when I just want some comfort tonight, knowing that I done been through everything and now, I had to feed the children program. I was in foster care and all of this stuff. Like, is she going to jump into savior mode? That's another way a narc would try to check your temperature. And again, I'm not against people saying, hey, are we a good fit? So let's go out, have a good time. Let's have some conversation. All of that is totally mature, totally good. No problem with that. But this is the problem with guys who are operating from that place of insecurity. Instead of working on themselves, it's much easier to manipulate everybody else. Narcissists have the capacity to change. They just choose not to. Most of them anyway. It's already been brought to their attention that the things that they're doing are hurting other people, but they believe it's safer on their side. When in reality, it's not. It's hard. It's easier on that side, but it's not safer. It's much safer to just become the best version of yourself so you can attract your equal. That's what evolved men do. Evolved men a lot of evolved men used to be narcissists or narcissistic in their way of dealing with other women. It's just what it is. A lot of them actually. But then they realize, so long as I do that, I'm always going to attract a woman who's operating at only a fraction of her true potential. And therefore, I'll never bring out the true fruits of that woman that'll blossom in my life and make me a better version. So evolved men do the work on themselves. They get tired of the games. The same way you tired of them, evolved men are tired of the games as well. And every time I talk about this, I'm always seeing y'all say, well, where are these men at? Where are those guys at who are tired of the games? The problem, again, I know I'm kicking the dead horse, but the problem is a lot of y'all are so focused and have been so focused, whether you're healing, leveling up, just taking care of yourself, you taking care of your kids or whatever, you've never been taught how to position yourself for somebody who deserves you. So you're going out here and you're evaluating, you're giving people a chance, but you don't know that there are effective strategies to pulling in that which won't harm you, that which won't waste your time, that which deserves you, which is only going to be at the hands of an evolved man. If you've done the work to evolve within yourself. If you've been out here looking for handouts, again, you've been one of them women that's jealous of other women, if you've been spending your time being gossipy and everybody, no, this ain't you. This ain't for everybody. But a truly evolved woman who's been working on herself, who's managing the access to herself, who's protecting her peace, who is willing to take the harder route if it retains her dignity, that woman is a perfect fit for an evolved man. Now, if you want more info on how to attract evolved men and multiple evolved men, so you can choose the one that's right for you, click the link. I pinned it right here. Pinned right here. My verified page. Click that link. Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You Masterclass. Again, that's absolutely free, where I went in on how to attract evolved men. Basically, how to position yourself, how to evaluate an evolved man in the right season of his life, and then choose the one that's right for you based on what you want and what you desire. Because all good people ain't right for each other. But a lot of y'all can't even get good people lined up around the corner, as you should, based on the work that you put in on yourself. Again, that link is right here pinned, and it's also in the caption whenever you back out. But back to what I was saying. When the narc moves on from you, don't jump to the conclusion that woman is better. I don't care if she look, but she might by society standards. I'm gonna be real with you. Look, we all ugly to somebody. You may see this woman and say, she's so much more attractive. She's so much more this, that, and the other. No, more than just an attractive woman that will deliver some level of validation more than what you did. A narcissist is going to look for somebody who makes him more comfortable in his narcissism. He's going to look for somebody who's going to make his life easier as he is. The problem is that you stayed one, too long. And then two, as far as the narc is concerned, the problem is you started making it hard for him to continue being comfortable being the narc. You no longer were delivering on the goods that you did before you knew what he was up to. You had to develop the ability and the capacity to stand on your boundaries. You had to re-engage with those who meant the best and knew you best and loved you best that he had you isolated from. You were only good enough for him whenever you were a lesser version of yourself. So when a narc moves on from you after you catch on, he's going to be looking for somebody who's the equivalent of the lesser version of yourself, not somebody who's actually an upgrade, just somebody who's more tolerant to his BS. That's just what it is. So don't feel like, the woman has something on you automatically. If you're done with a narcissist and she want him, let that woman take out the trash, go on and live your life. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all share this if you got anything from it. Share it for somebody else on your timeline. Bless somebody with this message who may need to hear it, because I'm sure it's somebody who does. And if you're in the market for an evolved man, again, not another bum, not another player, not none of that, but an evolved man, click the link pinned right here to get access to my free masterclass where I went in over an hour actually, of more dialogue about how to attract these evolved men quickly into your life. The link is also in the caption whenever you back out. But I'll let y'all